Would you take the winner
I'll take
and the
whoever.
loser type deal?
Teofimo
Right? Because big
still
name,
named
right?
to beat. I'll beat him and fight Taylor too.
Nice, nice, nice. Now that would be a get back in the amateurs. Like, what would you have to say? If you had to send a message to those two, especially Tio, that
Uh,
you got to share the ring with.
it'll be my get back, and we'll get it on, and I'll win. And at the end of the day, the amateurs are the amateurs, and now this is for legacy, for history, and I don't know. I don't know if Teofimo still got it. I don't know. We'll see. We fight against
Ooh.
Josh Taylor. I think Josh Taylor's gonna win. And if he loses against Josh Taylor, and even some of his performances that he did win, I don't think he looked good. Um, we'll see.
Mm. Shout out to Michelle Rivera. He's on the live as well right now. And what about this 140 division? A guy that you also shared the ring with, Africa. A guy that you beat in the amateurs. I mean, he's starting to make a name out there in New York City, and it could be one of those nice stories of saying, "Hey, let's get back," and maybe he want to entertain it. What do you
He's always
think? Do
been
you
a
think
great,
he's a better
great
fighter
fighter. He's
now?
always been a good fighter, and I'm glad to see him that he's finally getting the the light. I know, when somebody signs certain deals and they don't, it doesn't go how they expect it to go. But I'm glad, he's with the zone and he's getting the publicity and the fights that he's want and he's asking, he's demanding. He's a great fighter. That fight can happen too. I think it will be a great storyline for me to fight everybody I find the amateurs, and especially that we're in this hot division and just creates the whole hype, the whole storyline, the whole past and bring it to the present, talk shit, and just let's get it on and let's just have great fights. Have something to look back on after.
Yeah, you're a true indication of like more of an old school fighter that you want to be able to make these big fights happen, no matter if it's for the hardware or not. And nowadays in boxing, we got a lot of lopsided fights and stuff like that. So I'm glad that you're able to be able to speak your mind and tell everybody like, I'm here to stay and I ain't ducking nobody. Now, my last question is a guy that you also, and I'm not saying that I would think I would want to see this fight because he's at 47, but a guy that you shared the ring with. And I wanted to get your input on where he stands in a division. And it's Jaron Ennis, a guy that you got to share the ring with in the amateurs. What do you think about him? We have our guy, Rashidi Ellis. I interviewed him the other day. Um, you know, what do you think about a fight with him, Rashidi, and the big names such as Spence, Crawford, Virgil Ortiz, Stanionis? Where does he fall in that line, in that category
I
in
think
your
Jaron
eyes?
Ennis' Boots is a great fighter, and I think he is ready for them. For Errol Spence, for Terrence Crawford, him versus Luis Ortiz. Is that his name? Virgil Ortiz. Great fight.
Virgil Ortiz.
Uh, yeah, those would be all great fights.
Do you believe he's the boogeyman of the division, or do you think that the people demand that name?
Well, if he's a mandatory, I don't understand with boxing, man. We got mandatories and they're not giving the mandatories the title shots, man. You earned it. Michelle, he was another one. He's been a mandatory for 3 fights in a row and didn't get the shot. And it's sickening because you work so hard, you finally think you're about to get a world title shot because you're the mandatory. Then they be like, hold up, hold up, hold up. And it's a lot of games in boxing, man. But I definitely think he's ready.
Awesome, awesome, man. And knowing that you got to share the ring with Michelle Rivera and Camp, also a guy that's at your weight class. He happened to deal with some things outside the ring that he was accused of. But now on your team, did he mention anything about that as far as why he wanted to join your team, and where do you think he stands as far as a competitor
He's a
in this
he's
135
a great
division?
competitor. He's still eventually he'll be world champion as well, and just he wants to be the best too, And sometimes you have to associate yourselves with people who want to be great, and sometimes you just need to change. And everybody sometimes they just need a little.